Previously, the group arrived at the mission area. Subai warned of incoming beasts, but the teacher did not believe him. He explained that, as a beast tamer, he could sense them. A soldier confirmed the warning, and a battle broke out. During the fight, a cat king appeared. Two soldiers tried to stop it but failed, and the cat king moved in to finish them off. Now to this week's chapter. Suddenly, a bright object struck the cat king beast on the head, stopping it in its tracks and saving the two of them. Everyone turned to see what the light was. To their surprise, it was Little 8, grinning proudly. The teacher frowned and asked what a turtle was doing on the battlefield. Han, noticing the peculiar creature, questioned whether it might be Little 8, Subai's pet. Subai stepped forward, placing himself between the injured and the danger. Scratching his head awkwardly, he admitted this was a strange way to make an introduction. Then, standing tall, he declared, "I am a beast tamer, and this is my pet, Little 8. Turning his gaze toward the cat king beast, Subai stated with confidence, "I will handle this one. The rest of you should focus on the smaller beasts." The other students hesitated, doubting whether Subai was truly that strong, even after seeing his pet send the cat king beast retreating. Some murmured among themselves, questioning his abilities. Meanwhile, Lin smiled softly, feeling a spark of pride as she thought about how amazing Subai had become. Subai, unbothered by the doubt, calmly ordered Little 8 to show its true strength. In an instant, the turtle moved with astonishing speed, closing the distance to the cat king beast in the blink of an eye. One student gasped and blurted out, "Is that really a turtle?" As Little 8 engaged in combat with the cat king beast, its movements swift and precise, the lieutenant glanced over and remarked, "I never expected Subai to have such a powerful pet." The teacher, watching in awe, added, "I had no idea about his abilities until now. That pet of his is truly remarkable." She turned back to the students and motioned for them to focus on the smaller beasts while they had the chance. Energized by Subai's display, the students rallied together and began taking down the smaller beasts with renewed determination. Meanwhile, the cat king pounced on Little 8, pinning it down and striking its shell with all its might. To the cat king's surprise, its attacks caused no damage to the turtle. Instead, its claws were injured from the impact. The lieutenant, watching in shock, could hardly believe what he was seeing. Subai's pet had just withstood a direct assault from a cat king. He wondered aloud about the pet's incredible defense. The teacher, staying focused, reminded him to keep dealing with the smaller beasts alongside the others. The lieutenant called out to the older soldiers, urging them to cover him. With precision and determination, he leapt into the air, aiming to deliver a surprise attack. As he scanned for a weak spot, he focused on the center of the cat king's back and struck with a powerful blow. The beast roared in pain, its scream echoing across the battlefield. But before he could press the advantage, the cat king lashed out with its tail, sending him flying backward. He landed hard, frustration evident as he realized he had missed the true weak point. The lieutenant quickly recovered and prepared to attack the cat king again, his determination unwavering. It was clear he had resolved that only one of them would leave this fight victorious. Meanwhile, Subai gave a calm command to Little 8, prompting it to use its special move. The turtle began spinning rapidly on the spot, leaving the other students puzzled as they watched. They murmured among themselves, unsure what was happening. Subai dashed toward his pet, revealing that the cat king's weak spot was its back. With a swift motion, he kicked Little 8 like a soccer ball. The spinning turtle shot forward at incredible speed, slamming into the cat king's weak spot with a devastating impact. The force shattered the beast's back, bringing its reign of terror to an end. The lieutenant stood in amazement, questioning if the cat king was truly down after that strike. Just as the last of the doubts lingered, the worn-out beast slowly rose, gathering the last of its strength. With a final, desperate howl, it collapsed to the ground, defeated for good. Around them, the other students erupted into celebration, cheering for their hard-fought victory. Meanwhile, Lin rushed over and leapt onto Subai, beaming with excitement. She praised him, calling him amazing for taking down the cat king. Subai, still unsure, glanced around. He wondered if it was truly over. As he looked over at the fallen beast, he saw the other students gathering around, showering him with praise for his victory. Meanwhile, Little 8 spotted the cat king's core and, without hesitation, began to prepare to consume it. Subai yelled out for his pet to stop, but it was already too late. Just as little 8 moved in, the sky began to darken, the clouds swirling ominously above. The lieutenant shouted in alarm, warning that the battle was far from over. The Cat King's hand had reached out in its final moments, calling for help. He looked around, a sense of dread creeping in as he realized something even more dangerous might be approaching. Back at the base of operations, an urgent report came in about a massive surge of energy coming from the area where the new students were training. In the midst of the chaos, a voice screamed in pain, revealing that Hu Lin's daughter was among them. Wen Yuan, his face set with resolve, stood up and walked away, stating he would head there immediately. He ordered the other person to send backup, his voice stern. Looking back one last time, Wen Yuan added, "We need to be there in 20 minutes. The other person, now on edge, nodded as they scrambled to make the call. They both understood the gravity of the situation. If they were too late and something happened to Lin, her father, the tiger would unleash a rampage. The city would be powerless to stop it. Meanwhile, a voice echoed from the dark clouds, mocking them. The teacher was confused, asking how a beast could speak their language. The lieutenant, however, knew it meant trouble. He replied, "A talking beast means it's gold level or higher." Meanwhile, the talking beast landed next to the defeated Cat King, its voice booming as it called out in anger. It questioned how the humans dared to harm one of its own kind. The lieutenant, seeing the danger, screamed for everyone to get into a defensive formation. Just then, the talking beast began to consume the Cat King, its actions shocking everyone around. They watched in confusion, questioning why it was doing this. Suddenly, a system window popped up, warning Subai about the extreme danger he was in. The message stated that the beast was gold level and that he needed to leave immediately. As the talking beast finished eating, the system displayed its stats. It was a mutated Shadow Cat King, gold level, with a terrifying ability. When its health dropped low, it would enter a bloodthirsty berserk state, increasing its attack and agility by 100%, but its defense would drop by 50%. Meanwhile, the students began to panic in fear at the sight of the gold-level beast. The lieutenant, his mind racing, quickly realized that it was his responsibility to protect them. He made a quick decision to act as a decoy. Dashing ahead, he ordered his men to take the students and run. He would buy them some time. However, before he could get far, the Shadow Cat King struck, sending the lieutenant flying back with a single, powerful attack. The beast's voice echoed in mocking laughter. "It's pathetic that a bug like you would dare to attack me." As the lieutenant was sent flying, Subai shouted for his pet to protect him. The Shadow Cat King moved in for another strike, but Little 8 blocked the attack. The Shadow King, impressed by the turtle's hard shell, grinned as the force of the blow caused Little 8 to fall in pain. The attack had managed to damage it. The lieutenant, struggling to recover, screamed out, questioning whether Little 8 was alright. Meanwhile, Subai was heavily injured, having shared the damage with his pet. Lin screamed out in distress, shouting that he was hurt. The teacher, seeing Subai's condition, questioned when the Shadow King had injured him. The lieutenant, still recovering, commented that Subai must share a unique connection with his pet. Just then, the system provided an update, stating that Little 8 was severely hurt and had triggered the damage-sharing ability to save its life. However, this meant that Subai had taken half of the damage. Everyone rushed to Subai, concerned about his condition. He reassured them, commenting that he was alright. As he thought about how his pet had learned a new skill, he realized it must have come from the core Little 8 had eaten. The teacher, seeing Subai's determination, spoke up, saying that he was doing his part and now it was time for them to help. The others agreed, ready to join the fight and support him. Meanwhile, the Shadow King smiled, commenting that they had much to learn in this world. It then unleashed a powerful ranged attack that shot past them all. The teacher, confused at first by why none of them were hit, quickly realized that the beast was aiming for its only problem, Subai. Lin, seeing the incoming attack, quickly moved to cover Subai, shouting for him to watch out as the attack came in fast. The attack collided, creating a massive explosion that sent shockwaves through the air. Lin, shielding Subai, looked up in confusion, questioning why the attack hadn't hit them. Subai only smiled, his expression calm. He explained that his pet had finally finished absorbing the core, leveled up, and was now fully recovered. A system window appeared, revealing that Little 8 had reached Bronze Tier Mystic, activated its bloodline, and created a temporary illusion. It gained 3 new abilities: Mystic Barrier, which increases defense by 300%, Turtle Spirit Possession, which consumes stamina to boost attack by 100% and defense by 200%, and Gravity, which pulls all targeted enemies toward itself as it stood ready for battle. Meanwhile, the teacher was shocked and questioned if Subai's pet had evolved. The lieutenant, equally stunned, wondered if Subai's pet could now be an epic tier beast. Subai, standing up with confidence, reassured Lin when she asked how he had healed, simply stating that he was fine. He then ordered Little 8 to attack the Shadow King. Without hesitation, Little 8 launched an attack, sending the Shadow King flying back with the sheer force of the blow. Meanwhile, the lieutenant watched in awe, commenting that Subai's pet, despite being only bronze tier, was able to create such immense pressure. He speculated that it must have an incredible bloodline. Another person questioned how a bronze tier beast could possibly hurt a Shadow King. Just then, the Shadow King began to regain its footing. Once it stopped, its fury boiled over. It let out a furious roar and commanded its forces to emerge and attack. The lieutenant, observing the situation, quickly deduced, it's low on HP and entering a berserker state. The Shadow King's forces emerged, charging at the group as it declared that none of them would leave alive. A fierce battle broke out, with many engaged in combat. Amid the chaos, Subai commanded Little 8 to draw them in. Suddenly, Little 8 unleashed a massive roar, sending shockwaves through the air. One by one, the Shadow King's forces were sucked back toward Little 8, who consumed them all in an instant. Subai then commanded Little 8 to attack. The turtle activated its attack skill, firing a massive golden beam directly at the Shadow King. The beam tore through everything in its path, overwhelming the Shadow King. As the attack blasted through, everyone around shielded themselves from the pressure. The Shadow King was defeated with ease, its forces obliterated. Time had passed, and Wen Yuan had arrived at the battlefield. He stopped, surveying the scene of destruction, his eyes widening in disbelief. The landscape was utterly ravaged, and he questioned what kind of battle had taken place here. Everyone was in various stages of recovery, clearly exhausted from the intense conflict. As he scanned the area, Wen Yuan spotted the person he had come for, Lin. He rushed over, relieved to see her safe. He expressed his relief, saying he was happy she was unharmed. Lin, though, reassured him that she was fine, though she couldn't help but think about how her father wouldn't be happy if he found out what had happened. The teacher, observing Wen Yuan's arrival, questioned why he had come. The lieutenant stepped forward, introducing himself and giving a detailed report on what had transpired. He explained that they had taken down over 800 beasts, including 1 silver and 1 gold tier beast. He mentioned that casualties were being counted, with many people injured and receiving first aid treatment. Wen Yuan, still in disbelief, was surprised that they had managed to defeat a gold tier beast. The lieutenant clarified that Subai and his pet had played a significant role in bringing down both the silver and gold beasts. Wen Yuan then asked if Subai had killed the Shadow King. He responded that it had been a team effort, with everyone contributing to the victory. Wen Yuan nodded, accepting this answer. He then approached Subai, asking if he would be interested in joining his division after graduation. He explained that beast tamers had been declining in number, but offered to take Subai under his wing as his mentor. Subai thanked him for the opportunity but politely declined, saying he had other plans. Just then, the lieutenant called out to Wen Yuan, questioning what his orders were now that the battlefield had been cleared. Wen Yuan, after a brief pause, commanded that they should return to base. The lieutenant nodded, signaling the team to prepare for the next steps. Time passed, and they eventually arrived back at the base. As they approached the portals to head back, the lieutenant instructed that a headcount be done before they could leave. He reminded everyone of the hardships they had faced and emphasized the importance of training hard. The students, still recovering from the battle, nodded in agreement and thanked him for his leadership. As everyone began to leave, the lieutenant remarked that these kids were special, having witnessed real battle firsthand. He also noted that Subai was particularly interesting. The teacher agreed, stating that all the students would have grown from this experience, and their futures were bright. She wished him good luck as she left, and he responded, "Until next time." Meanwhile, Tsubaya and Lin returned, relieved and happy to be back. To their surprise, the university had come to welcome them as heroes for their battle achievements. One girl greeted a student with enthusiasm, while another, still in disbelief, wondered if it had all been a dream, given how few of them had returned. Meanwhile, a teacher approached Tsubaya and commented that they already knew what had happened on the battlefield. He mentioned that Tsubaya's exam record would be the highest and would likely break the current record. Tsubaya, however, stated he was tired and just wanted to sleep, a sentiment that another student agreed with. Time passed, and the students were back at the dorm. Han, feeling relaxed after the intense battle, questioned everyone about how the bed felt, to which they all agreed it was the best sleep they'd had in a while. Yao wondered aloud if they would earn many points from today's battle, curious about the rewards they might receive. Han, however, doubted the university would reward them much, but noted that Tsubaya would undoubtedly earn a mountain of points for his contributions. Han then sat up, looking at Tsubaya, and asked what species his pet was, expressing a desire to have one too. But by then, Tsubaya had already fallen asleep. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe and like. It really helps me out.